Afternoon, morning, wherever, whatever time it is where you are, from Sig's Garage. We're going to cover one of my latest projects. It was a 1 month project. 1961 Corvette, pretty nice car. Car came to me with a request to install electric power steering, but as you can see, I had to tow it at my driveway due to car not running. Been sitting for quite a while, had dead fuel in it. The owner also mentioned that the emblem in the back of it was had kind of fallen out. As you can see, it was taped in, so had to do a little repair on that. Put the ring back under it with the studs and the little nuts. Got that resolved, and then moved on to the next item, which was the dead fuel. The steering is really no good if the engine's not running. Can't drive the car. Talk about the fuel issue this car had. As I mentioned earlier, very rotten, dead, stale fuel. So first thing, I had to get the fuel out of the tank. So I pumped the majority of it out, just put a battery charger on it, and just used the engine short burst to pump it out into a 5-gallon can. I got just about all of it out before I put fresh fuel in it, but also had to replace the tank sending unit, which was trashed to the fuel, and then I had to go through the carburetor because the carburetor was just, the floats were stuck and it was just pouring fuel into the engine. So next up was the carburetor. The carburetor was pretty much trashed as far as the floats were stuck down. It was just messy inside. So a rebuilt unit will cost you $1,030 without tax and shipping. So I was able to salvage this one, went through it, and got it back on the engine because my goal was to get it running and to see how the car ran before I got involved with the steering install. So all that went well, got it back on, and no more leaks out of the carburetor. It was pouring fuel. It dumped about an extra 2 quarts of fuel. It was actually hydrolocking when you went to start it, and the crankcase had probably 2 quarts extra in it of dead fuel, so that had to be addressed as well with a double flush on it. So that pretty much resolved the carburetor issue, all the fuel system issue, and then I did a quick check of the dwell because the car still had points in it. Amazing, but it did, and reset the timing, and the car ran exceptionally well. So at that point, it was time to get into the steering. So this is the original steering wheel. It's a very large wheel, and it will be replaced with a retro, smaller wheel. So it's much nicer, easier, makes entry and exiting the car much easier, and it functions well with the power steering. So this kit that I got is, see how tight it is in that picture, but the kit that I got came from Easy Power Steering. It's made in the Netherlands. Very nice kit, and everything that you see on my workbench there, 100% of that goes under the dash. So you have the steering assembly, motor, shaft, module, wiring harness, then there's some associated tooling that you need to install this. There is some cutting involved. You have to cut the original tube around the steering shaft, and you have to cut the steering shaft. So your dimensions have to be dead on to have the steering wheel fall in the same location as before. So yeah, it's a very tough job. Better to be a smaller person because you're going to be spending some time up under the dash to get it done. The finished product, as you can see, is very nice. It's tucked up under there. When you're standing outside the car and look anywhere under, you cannot see any of it. Couldn't be happier with how the whole project went. There's a adjustable rheostat that you can adjust the force applied. It's a torque sensing system, but as soon as you turn the key, you'll hear it click in the module and you have power steering. It just makes turning this car so much nicer. I noticed that the fan on this car was really deep into the shroud. Now this is not the fan that it came with. This is the correct 5-blade fan with a clutch as it's supposed to be. So I'll just open this trunk up and show it to you. But it was very deep into the shroud. I kept hearing this metallic tinking noise when I would drive it. When I hit a bump or something, just like it was a real metallic tink under the hood. Finally figured out what was going on. It was so close to the shroud, and that's the fan that came out of it right there. Look at that spacer. And then there was a big shim too thick behind the water pump pulley as well. So when I got the fan off, I just got to show this to you. This is, maybe it's all I could find at the time. But if you'll notice, it says FOMOCO, Ford Motor Company. It was a Ford fan installed in this car. Definitely not the correct one. So at the end of the day, it was hitting the shroud at the bottom ever so slightly, and not all the time. And then you can see it down there where it was hitting the shroud. I think there's a mark, you see that mark down there right from the fan clutch below it. That's where it was touching. So the customer approved making it correct. So the correct positioning of the fan and the shroud is like 50% in, 50% out. And that's where we're at now. It's correctly placed and with a clutch, much quieter cruising down the road. Got that squared away. But then I noticed the temperature gauge would read sometimes cool, depending on the ambient temperature. And sometimes it would kind of, if you were going slow, just cruising in hot weather, it'd run up. I said, this thing acts like it doesn't have a thermostat. Well, it didn't. So thermostat went in it, 180. Really had to do some sanding on that housing. It's like original water outlet to get the seal, and put a Felpro O-ring style gasket on it and repainted that. So that's all looking good now. And now the temperature is at the correct 180, 180, 185. Going real slow, it might hit 190 till the fan clutch kind of engages and cools it down. But it definitely pulls, that 5-blade fan pulls a lot more air. Something I learned in these cars is these sending units. Let me show that to you. You can have a hard time getting, there's the sending unit right there. Just a variable, ground, hot wire running to the gauge. They're hard to get the original resistance as they were calibrated from the factory. So on the gauge, I'll focus in. On the gauge, it would run just south of the 220, and at that tick mark right there left of the 220, it was kind of hanging there, but it was running there steady. So I shot the water outlet. Well, engine's running correct. I said, all right, well, now what are you gonna do? If you can't get a sending unit, I'll try to show this device to you, because people have this problem and they want it to read correctly. I guess you could fool yourself and think it's right, but it's a yellow, see that yellow, I'm gonna try to point to it, it's right there. Too much light. Right there, the little yellow plastic piece. And in the very end of it, very end of that piece, it's a variable resistor. And you can, there was a small flat blade screwdriver, and you just hook that in line to from the ground, coming off the sending unit to the gauge, and you can dial your temperature right into where you want it. So I set it up to read 180, and when I shoot it 180, it reads 180. So I think the customer will like that a lot, and it's just don't like to see it. Even though I know it's not running 220 or 200, your mind says, it's hot. It's not. So that was also found to be incorrect. All that's good now. Correct as well. So let's just get into it. So the car came to me for a install of an easy electric power steering. And so this is a very, very nice kit. It's made in the Netherlands and not cheap. It's quite an expensive kit, but you don't, we'll pop the hood here. You don't have anything showing under the hood at all. It looks different. The steering tube, everything looks the same. Of course it is, there's no modification made here. It is a 283. I think the car at one time when it came out was a fuel injection car. It seemed to be the original badges on it. Somebody's changed it over. Still has a dual point distributor and the old Carter AFB carburetor. So we'll cover that in a minute, but I just want to cover the steering right now. So let me get under here, try to put a light on this so you can see. The whole unit, there's the motor, and some of the associated wiring had to be tied up and secured. But it connects down here. You have to cut the tube, the red tube, and then you have to cut the shaft that comes all the way up the tube to install this unit. And I'll attach a picture of the unit as well as it sits on the bench so you understand. And you have to reconnect the upper portion. So you got to cut the tube actually 2 times to make this work. Way over here, this was a little bit challenging. Right back there, we see the 3 connectors. That's the module, and it kind of mounted it. I had to mount it to some structure that would secure it. It's very secure now, but it's very, very hidden. So, but that's the brains of the system. Wiring's not too bad, and there's also a knob up here that you can adjust the force the steering applies. So it's a torque sensing system, and as you put more force, it gives you more assistance. So really nice unit. And then it also allowed us to, of course, the steering wheel has to come off, but this is not the original steering wheel. This is a retro 15-inch. It replaces the larger one that makes it very difficult to get in and out of. Of course, you had to have a larger one to steer this beast, but it is so nice now. So stiff right now, and all you have to do is turn the switch to the run position. You'll hear a click, and then it's turns like a dream. And that's sitting still. So really, really, really makes a difference in the drivability of this car. And I would say this is good for driver cars, not garage queens, if you're gonna spend this kind of money. But for the most part, everything is self-contained in that unit under the dash. There's nothing that goes under the hood. The only thing I had to run under here was a power wire to the battery. Let's see if I connected it straight. It's a pretty good size wire. And I connected it right to the positive. And then I secured it and ran it and went into the firewall up there and ran it back and connected it to the unit. So anyway, that's it. That came out real nice. Very pleased, much more drivable. This was a gift to his wife. I think she'll definitely enjoy that. Beyond that, a few little nitpick things in this car. The rear emblem back there on the trunk lid was not secured correctly. Got that taken care of. We had some top work we had to do to stretch it out because it'd been stowed so long it kind of dried up. So it latches better. Did some maintenance on it, routine. Of course, I mentioned the fact that the carburetor was dumping the fuel into it so much, it was flooding the cylinders. Well, it also flooded the crankcase.
So the crankcase was full of this rotten gas. So got it running. It was probably 1.5 quarts over full. Just got enough warmth in it, put it on my lift, and drained the oil. Did a two-time flush on it, 2X flush, to get all that stuff out of there, and then refilled it with some Valvoline VR1 10W30, good for classic cars, high zinc, and much, much better. So with all that done, dwell set, timing set, fan correct, carburetor set up, put a little lighter spring on the accelerator, it was kind of stiff. Works much better, much more drivable. All that's good to go now. And then other than, I'm not gonna cover all the little nitpicky things I found that maybe needed to be corrected, just to make it better for him and just more reliable. But other than that, the car's in great shape. If I think of anything else, I'll tag that on this video. But it's a really nice car. I think they're gonna love the power steering. The transmission, I'll mention that. The transmission does have a little bit of a whine to it when you let the clutch out, saying the input shaft bearing maybe has some wear, and it may pop out a second occasionally on deceleration, which probably shifter forks, but that'll be addressed at another time. He talked about putting an automatic in it. Maybe he will not want to do that now, but I can at least pull the transmission out and fix that if he'd like. Any questions, please just add them to the comment section and I will try to answer them. Time-wise, I'll just give you that number. Call it 10 hours, and it really helps to have two people. And not so much that two people can get under the dash, because most of your work is upside down under the dash, and I did it without pulling the seat out. I'm not a huge man, so it worked out that I could get under the dash without slide the seat back, and I could get under there. But what's really handy is a second person is to hand you tools as you're under there and keep you from having to get in and out of the car all the time to do the work, because there's a lot going on under there for this project. But anyway, thanks for viewing. I'll be back with some more content now that I'm back at work. I've got you can see over there in my garage. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a 57 Corvette. Let's walk by it real quick. That's going to be the next content. Sitting next to it is my Z06. This 57 is in here for it's got a power glide. Really nice car. The transmission's out of it right now. I've sent it out to be rebuilt. So I'll cover that in another video. Thanks for watching. For now, Sig's Garage is out.